a little bit harder than I thought it would be to get the licensing and everything, because I had to get a special business license, I had to get a regular business license, and then I had to get licensings around for almost like every city we work in. One was like $50, and then if you have a business partner, it went up to like $150. I was like, how did that even happen? Like, why is his fingers bigger than mine? Or like, why is it so much more? Randomly, they'd be like, oh, well, there's an $8 processing charge. I just paid $120. Like, here's some extra money. Like, this random fees just kept coming up. I'm like, damn, dude. Like, California dream, I guess. Like,
hi, and welcome to the Key Concepts podcast. Today, we're going to be talking to Zach from Detailing Fanatics.
Yep.
Today, everything went wrong. It's 105 degrees outside, and the AC messed up, and so we're just melting. But since we scheduled it, we're going to power through this. So you'll see us wiping our sweat.
We're cooking a little bit, but it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So Zach, why don't you introduce yourself, talk about a little bit about your business and how you got started?
Well, I started the business. I actually started a year ago, Detailing Fanatics. But the partner at the time I had, we separated, and then it was more of a like a relearning process of how to do everything solo, and then building up from there. So after we hit that separation point, I took over full ownership of the company, and I went from I started all over. Like everything we were doing before, I kind of like I took the good, and then tried to cut off any of the bad, like what we're doing for sales and how we're getting clients. I didn't like that part, so we changed that up, and then I restarted the entire thing again this year. So about 6 months ago, we reformatted into Detailing Fanatics, and we got the licensing, the name change, which in Sacramento, maybe California, I don't know, it was a little bit harder than I thought it would be to get the licensing and everything, because I had to get a special business license, I had to get a regular business license, and then I had to get licensings around for almost like every city we work in, instead of just like a greater Sacramento license. Like, you need a Folsom, you need a Roseville, you need like for everyone you're in, they kind of want you to get a license. I've never heard of anyone getting stopped or checked, but you don't want to be the one, because then you'll get fined, and then you have to get the license anyway. But that's where we started, and it started right off the bat. It was going good, and then here it rained for like a month and a half. Do you remember that rained for about a month or 2 months straight? And that was like the first, like we went from, clients every other day to like no clients for like, weeks. It was, dry for us, wet for the entire planet. So it was like, man, that really threw a wrench in our plan. But now we're getting back at it. And for the main part of getting everything set up, the only thing I worked on primarily was the foundation, like building the stepping blocks before we built up. So I didn't worry about, trying to like blow up on some sort of social media, like some one-hit wonder type of aspect of business. You hear about that, here's how you do it quick, get rich quick type thing. Because if you get rich quick, you'll get poor quicker. So it's like, you can't, like if you do it's not sustainable. So we have everyone go to, first they work with me, and I every new employee, they work with me. We watch them we teach them, and then we also send them to a third party detailer that will give them a certification. Just so we have like two party authentication for one of our detailers, and we do that. And once they're good, they'll go out with someone, me or another lead detailer that I work with, and we'll kind of like cover them for a while until they could go off by themselves. And that's where we're at right now, where we're really we got our good foundation. We have good detailers, good like all good workers, good everything. Now we're just getting working on clientele and marketing, sales, the money part of it, the money part.
I'm actually really interested about the formation with your business partners, so I want to go back to that. But let me ask you this first. So detailing, pretty much everybody kind of knows, okay, you get your car detailed, but what do you guys do differently? Because you're mobile, are you not?
Yeah, that's the thing. We're actually fully mobile. So we have a garage, kind of like garage warehouse where we stock everything, and then a detailer will come over, load up, and then head out from there. So we don't do any brick and mortar. Our
Mhm.
only brick and mortar is just a like a storage unit. Basically, we just have a storage with all our supplies. The detailers head out, grab them, and then we do the whole thing from either the home, or we do some businesses like one of our clients, he has a sales force, and they come in about once a month, from all around, and he'll call us and be like, hey, we need like 10 washes, and then we'll just set up in the back of their building, and then we'll just wash all the cars like that. So from your business to your home is where we come into play, and we do pretty much everything the same except for taking the seats out, or like heavy restorations. Like if you have terrible scratch marks or anything like that, you really need a shop, because especially the sun in Sacramento is like this beating down. So we need a shop for those, or if you have like real damage, if you need to replace your seats and stuff like that. We can't do any of that on the fly, but everything else, the washing, waxing, cleaning tires, steam cleaning, extractors, we have the whole nine. We just load it up in a vehicle, send it out, and then about 2 or 3 hours later, you're good to go, and then we take off.
That's awesome. So that's super convenient, especially people that are busy, don't want to drive, don't want to
Yes,
make the
yes.
trip. So I think you guys really differentiate in the sense that, hey, I need to wash. I have a busy schedule. Let me hit up
Yeah.
Detailing Fanatics, come through, make it happen. So how do you manage your schedule with that though? Because what happens if you get double booked or you have people that,
Yeah, double books or someone calling in or out. What we do for the most part is we have we call them like lead detailers. So some people who could go out on their own, who like know the ins and out, been double certified. And then we have a detailing assistant. So someone that's like they're like getting their hours before they could go off on their own. They still like want a little bit more they want a little bit more experience before they're comfortable. And then we're like, okay, well, you could shadow someone, so they'll go out. If we have someone calling sick, then one of our shadowers or our detailing assistants will go out and help the person who's double booked or something like that. So
Mhm.
that's where they'll get their hours in, and then we don't have a guy working 10 hours a day. We have someone else going out with them. So 10 hours goes down to like 7 or 6. So that's what we do for like heavily booked schedules. But right now, since we're in that little heat wave, we don't book anyone. No one will be double booked in this week or next week, just because you see those things on like the Amazon drivers, kind of like kept passing or collapsing. We're not going to be on the news or on TikTok for anything like that. So anything past 12, because once it hits 12, it starts getting to like 101, 105, and it starts
I
getting really
know.
hot. So anything past 12, we're trying to finish up by then and be gone. So
I
there's no
know.
double booking right now, but when we have plans for that. And yeah, speaking to the comfort of your own home, the clients, most of our clients right now are actually work from home people, because we started when COVID was still around. So a lot of the clients we got were just it could be anyone, like state workers that work from home all the time, or a lot of people in private, a
IT.
lot of IT guys, and therapists. Actually, I guess a lot of therapists were on calls just
Oh, that's
doing
right. Yeah.
therapy over the phone. So they're like, the guy's got really nice Porsche, but he's at home the entire time. He's not out and then taking lunch breaks or anything. He's just home. So he's like, hey, I just come on down, do this thing. He's like, they're just on call, so we just work with their schedule, and they work with us, and it's been going pretty smooth. The actual business of it has been going smooth. Um, like I said, now the only thing we're working on is this marketing, clientele, sales, but the foundation, I think we have a pretty solid grasp on it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's all nice. I do like how you're able to go out to the clients, meet them, and do it from the home. And you're right that I had another guest that was a psychotherapist, and he was talking about doing it all from home,
Yeah.
telesales, and not
Yeah.
having this. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. You guys do a lot of that. So I want to go back to the formation of the business, because you mentioned something that I think a lot of entrepreneurs run into, is that whenever you're starting a business, you usually start with a business partner, right? You have an idea, you end up brainstorming with that business partner, and then there's ideas that differentiate, and then people kind of like grow apart a little bit. So tell me how you guys formed the partnership, and then talk to me about um, the lessons learned from that. Like what do you, is it better to do it by yourself? Is it better to do it with a partner? And the thing I'm really trying to figure out is, how do you choose the right business partner, or is it better just to not have a business partner? because I know there's several businesses that I've tried to start up in the past and with other people, and it's always been a difference of opinion, and then we've always split, and then the business died. So,
Well, the main thing I think to stop that from happening is having a contract that really defines the duties of each party involved. So someone that's, if you, so okay, say my business would have the main thing is there's detailing, which is like a big part of it. There's sales, getting the customers, and then there's back end like admin, licensing, insurance, making sure all that's good. So if I were to do it differently, I'd have something like where it was specifically detailed what everyone's role is. Like, okay, you're on sales, you'll be answering emails, phone calls, you'll be making ads, you'll be running the Google ads, you'll be running Facebook ads, Instagram ads, all that. And then one would be detailers. Like you run all the products we have, all the inventory we have, any dealers that come in, you're shadowing them, you're making sure they get certified. And then admin, you kind of split that up because it's not really what's your opinion on this? It's like, well, the city says we need this license, so get that license. Like it's not, there's no opinion. But for sales or detailing or like big, like the big part of the bread, people will have different opinions and it'll go off different. It just, who knows what's going to work, and then if you guys both think what your idea is going to work, it's going to get conflicting. So if you trust it, like if you know someone's a decent partner and like knows what they're doing, and you delegate them to that task, then you should stay out of it and let them handle their section, and you handle your section until you find out someone's like it's not working out, like they're buying the wrong product or they're spending way too much money on ads, and then that's when it'll become a problem. But if they're competent, they're competent, then it should work out fine.
So I think the key takeaway there is having a clear role for what the business partner is doing and how they differentiate. Because the whole saying is you don't want two cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And so if you have a different division that they're going to be completely over, and you can have your own division, that's going to be the best partnership. So nothing with overlap, because then who has the final say? And that's where it becomes problematic. It's like, hey, this is my role. I'm going to have the final say on that. You could always provide opinions, but someone's got to have the authority to say, no, I'm going to draw the line in the sand here, and I'm going to do it this way. This is what I think is best for the organization. So, and then on the other side of it, the other business partner is going to have to be okay accepting that change or feedback and running it that way. You could identify the risks and say, hey, I think this is risky for these reasons. So my recommendation would maybe spend less on ads as an example, or maybe buy these different products from these vendors because this is going to affect their bottom line. And they're going to say, well, no, I want the best quality, but is the return on investment really there, right? Does it make sense? And so you got to win some, lose some. But if you have it up front on paper or written down saying, hey, this is what we're going to agree to make this partnership work, I think that's going to have the best chance of success. I think the thing I would worry about the most is having the verbal agreement without anything on writing.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, bro code, hey, I'm going to trust that you do this, and I'm going to trust that I do this. And then what's going to happen? Like later on, it gets blended, it gets blurry.
Months later, and then you're like, well, what does that actually mean? Or like, what did you say? Or like, what was our discussion 6 months ago? How's it hold up now? And then when you actually jump into starting a business, you realize there's so much more to it than just, oh, I have a good idea. Like so much happens so fast that the verbal contract that you had a couple months ago is like, who knows, man? We just got to get this done. Like everyone's just doing everything. So when you really delegate tasks, it helps out a lot, and that's I think one of the main ways to maintain that business partner relationship.
So it sounds like after you're able to kind of dissolve the original partnership and then kind of reinvent the business on your own, a lot of those roadblocks that kind of been removed, you're able to kind of now have people that report directly to you to make things happen, and you're able to just kind of delegate down all the tasks and manage your staff that way. But you no longer have that conflicting vision of someone wants to go this way and you want to go right, they want to go left. I think that's alleviated. And I think that's the story of many entrepreneurs, to be honest. But would you say that's kind of where you're at now, where you can have the final say, you can really drive the business to the way that you see is best?
Yeah, I definitely have the final. Like, I'm sole proprietor, so like the absolute final say, for sure. Like what like my vision, I could try to like project it. Um, but with that, it was still nice to have like different inputs and different ideas coming in, because sometimes when you're in it, you can't see it. So if you're doing something wrong, but you're in that situation, you can't really see what you're doing wrong. So I like the outside perspective. So I'm always like, I like to ask everyone I'm around, like, hey, what do you think about this? What if I tried that? Even like even this the regular details that work for me. I'll ask my mom. I'll ask my brothers. Like anyone. I'm like, hey, what about this? What about that? I'm always bouncing off their, trying to like get new ideas. So the business partner I had was really smart. He was a really smart guy. He was really good at detailing. He was probably like he was one of the like main detailers that we had, and he was really good. And we didn't run into too much conflict on the business side, not too much on the business side, but it was just the time we started it, like everything bad that could happen started happening. Like, I got COVID.
Oh, jeez.
And usually I'm like, the C word, but it wasn't. I didn't get like the everybody COVID. Everyone got COVID. Like I got like, when they like he's dying of COVID, and they showed all the hospital beds. Like that was me. I was like, damn man, I got the actual COVID. So I mean, I was out for months, and that's right when we started it up. So I had my friend who just came back and he moved in, or like moved to the area, and we were trying to start this thing up. And then I'm just dying of COVID. I'm like, damn, I can't help out much. So like all I could really do is maybe do phone calls or like emails. But when you're first starting, you need like heavy groundwork, because you don't want to take out a loan, especially for like a business that isn't this big. You can't really hire people at this time because you don't have the cash flow yet.
Yeah.
So like you have to be the salesperson, you have to be the admin, you have to be the detailer, the inventory guy, you have to be everything. And then all I could really do was make phone calls, because I couldn't like I was on inhalers for months, and I was taking medicine, I was in and out of the doctors. So it just like that was going on. I injured my back, like there's so many things were going on.
When it rains, it pours.
Yeah. So when it rains, it pours. So we were drowning, and yeah, this whole bunch of stuff, started happening. So it wasn't like a terrible like oh, you're an idiot, you know how to do this.
No, yeah, it's just a mutual
It was
agreement.
just
Like,
like-
hey, this is best, and
Yeah, it was like it was just
'cause
like, damn, this ain't working out.
and that's just a sign of maturity. That always happens. But I think what you're highlighting is the success of an entrepreneur, because I kid you not, there's so many people that I talk to that have the same exact story of we started this together and it fizzled out. And then what do you then compensate for? Because I don't really, I'm not trying to highlight the drama or anything of, even though that's mutual, it's maturity. And so it's like, okay, let's just have an honest conversation. It's just the fact of how do you mitigate that, and what controls you put in place. And you kind of alluded to it, is you have when there are business partners involved, have that contract, have the delineating roles in place, have a good understanding so you can scale and grow, and also have an exit strategy and have it up front. Like, if this doesn't work out, how do we dissolve? What's going to be the plan? Let's just have that conversation now, so we have a mutual understanding of, you want to retain that friendship afterwards. You don't want any bad blood or bad taste in someone's mouth after those things happen, especially when someone puts in a little bit of capital or puts in their time and energy.
Or like some sort of whatever equity they could put in.
Absolutely.
Then they get that back out in return. And we did have a stipulation for that. So when he left, he took 70% of the earnings and the cash flow that we had. Basically, the business paid him out 70% for his for a lot of the time he put in, because he was on the ground a lot more than I was. I was on the ground a few jobs. He was on the ground for 80, 90% of the jobs. So then he took home a big chunk of the capital. And then I decided I thought about, like more future tense, like, man, all right, partner's down, 70% of capital's gone. What should I do next? But I always figured like, I'm struggling now, but well, I'm not going to always be struggling. Tomorrow's going to be a little bit better. Day after that's going to be a little bit better.
Exactly.
And eventually consistency will just take over. So that's when I decided to keep the business. And because we were talking about, just selling everything off and everything. I was like, no, I think like I could keep doing this. I could keep doing this. I could keep trying. Just because even if it didn't work out, or if it it had to dissolve a few months later, or something didn't work out, I wanted to see it through to the end, just so I could have that experience. Like you gotta go through the turmoil to get strong and get to know what you're made of. So it's like, this sucks. Like, obviously I'm like about to go to the hospital for COVID, losing business partners, and then there's the capital. But thankfully I had money saved up because we didn't pour a lot into it because it was low startup cost, and I had a lot in stocks at the time. I had tons of money in stocks. So I was like, okay, I'll be okay. I could float some bills right now. Let's weather the storm. And that's where my headspace was at back then. And now we've weathered the storm and we built a good foundation. And now we got another storm of getting enough clientele to match the output we want to do. So it was just more about weathering the storm and seeing the bigger picture. And I think I was able to do that at that time. And then now we're on to our next stage.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, I guess the thought that comes to mind is that, hey, diamonds are made under pressure. So you got to have some of that pressure to kind of move into that next level. So you mentioned another thing that I wanted to highlight is you said, hey, I asked for my friends, family for their feedback and everything. What you're basically saying is that you're using your resources as a board of directors, because if you are in it and you don't see the things that you can improve or the ideas and you want to bounce something off someone, you're just like, hey, what do you think about this? And hey, what do you think about that? But that's essentially what a board of directors does, is like, if you have people that are really smart, know different ways to scale the business, when you go, you ask them for feedback, and they give you input, and they give you recommendations and stuff. And so maybe unbeknownst to you, you're actually using the resources as a board to kind of grow your business.
I kind of got a board, I guess.
In an unofficial capacity. So yeah, I think that's good. I think that's when you are in a position where you are a sole entrepreneur, find 3-5 people that you really trust, have them be that board of directors that can give you different angles, different input, different ideas, and not someone that's going to just tell you what you want to hear, someone that could really critique you with constructive criticism to allow your business to grow and have some of that blue ocean strategy to increase your clientele, to market and scale and do those type of things. So I think that's good. I think you're kind of already naturally growing into that with as just like the entrepreneur from starting Detailing Fanatics and just pushing it. So I think that's I'm want to kind of follow up in the future, kind of see where you guys are at and see how you guys grow. So you talked about clientele and everything and how you get that. So what is the challenge there? What tactics are you using? I mean, you have, tell me the type of clients for the type of vehicles. Like, what does that whole look like? And what's your market? What are you trying to target there?
Yeah, our main target for all our market is primarily it turned out to be more like middle age people who maybe they have the funds to purchase higher end vehicles, but they don't have the equipment, and even if they did, they can't. They're working constantly. They're either at work or they're doing something, so they can't go to a shop for 2 or 3 hours and wait. Or sometimes if a shop's booked, then you go there and you Uber back, and then you have to come back. So your car's gone for a day, depending on what they need. And they don't want to do a quick car wash because, if your Porsche costs $100,000, you're not going to use, like cheap products on it. If you're paying over 6 figures for a vehicle, they don't want, like, they understand, like, my paint job itself is $15,000. It's like the longevity of keeping that alive costs me a lot more if I damage this paint. So they don't go to any of those quick quacks and or the drive-through gas station car washes. And if they do have the equipment, they don't want to, they can't really do it themselves. Either they're older or they're too busy. So those are the guys who are like, hey, that's a niche group. We're like, we'll come out to you. We'll take care of the car. We have, really good equipment. We have really good products. If you're working from home, we'll do it from there. If you're working from your business, we'll do it from there. Whatever you need, we come out. Like, service is like our number one thing. So like, the main goal of the business is to be one of the highest rated detailers in Northern California. So that's like our whole thing is just service based, just 100%, you know, if you guys want us to come, 7 a.m., fine, 7 p.m., fine. Like we'll be there, we'll do what we can, and just give the best customer experience. So that's our clientele, is like those guys who don't either have the time or the physical capability of, taking care of their, something that means a lot to them. Because when you spend that much on a vehicle, it's like people are like, you're like a car person, or you have, you've always kind of wanted, that experience, and you want to take care of that car. That's your baby now. So we come out and we take care of it for you.
No, that's awesome. So it sounds like your market is 35 plus people that have already some experience, a career, have a semi-decent car, if not a high-end car,
Yeah.
and can afford the detailing because they understand the value of that type of wash versus a regular wash. And so now that we have that clients that are prone to buy those type of services, we understand the tapestry behind that a little bit. What would you say is, how do you actually then get the clients? Like, how do you go and market yourself to say that you have this service? Is it just all through social media? Is it through word of mouth? Is it putting flyers? Like, what does that process look like?
A lot of it started off just from Google ads. Actually, we made ads in Google, and they helped us get a good amount of clients at first, and then we started to branch off towards a lot of word of mouth, and we haven't done flyers yet. I thought about doing flyers, going to like, the Fab 40s or something and hanging them up maybe, but I don't know how effective that would be. It is, I mean, I see flyers all the time, but I don't really pay attention to them. But maybe that's another way. But our main was word of mouth, and then social medias, and Google ads. We did Facebook ads for a while. I gotta learn about that more. Learning about Google ads by myself was already hard enough. Like, I was just up for that. It's hours and hours looking at videos, trying to like imitate them, and then like focus it towards what we'll need. That was already super hard. So I get why people hire ad guys. Like, I'm like, you just make your own ad. Like 30 hours listening to some guy on YouTube. I'm like, damn, maybe I can't just make my own ad. Like, what's going on here? But eventually I got it down, because, you just kind of put in the time. You got to suffer. I can't hire Google ads guys. So I just got to suffer and do it. And then that worked out pretty well for us. Like, they started getting us jobs. I would say within a week. Like, within a week, we started getting jobs from Google ads. They were pretty lucrative. So it's like you'd make $300 to $500. And if you could get at least one of those a week, now your Google ads are completely paid for and then some. So it started paying itself off. But the only thing is, becoming too dependent on that, I think, will be a problem in the long run. So now we've tapered back our Google ads a lot and kind of put ourselves into a situation to where I had to think of something to get out of it. So if I don't want to keep relying on Google ads, because then we're just, every time we get more clients from Google ads, we'll have to put more money back into Google ads, and it'll be like this, like, revolving door. So right now we're trying to do anywhere from word of mouth or contracts with maybe like a high-end sales company or car sales company, like high-end dealerships, to where we'll give them a piece of the pie if they, all they have to do is, hand out a card. And if they call us and mention that person or mention that dealership, then at the end of the month, we pay that dealership a certain amount of, a certain percentage of however many they got for us. Something like that is what I want to go to more now, because Google, I think at a certain point, you get diminishing returns. So you'll eventually just start getting jobs. They'll just pay for your Google ads again. And then you'll get more jobs. They pay for the more money you put into Google ads. And it'll only start returning on its own when you have so many jobs that they become returning clients. So say if you do 10 jobs, you get one returning client. Then if you keep doing that over and over and over, I don't know how long it would take, but eventually you just have a bunch of maintenance clients that you just do every once or twice a month. And then your Google ads could simmer down. But right now, like, I don't know how much it's going to cost. I don't know how much that's going to take. So we're looking for alternative alternative ways to get our clients.
I think that's a really interesting point you're making there is that, yeah, you can do the Google ads, you can get the clients, but all of the profits go right back in the Google ads. And so the only real return on investment is whenever the client comes back as a returning customer outside of the Google ad system. So you're at a place where you're looking at financial efficiency. How do I trim my bottom line? How do I retain more profits to be able to scale and grow the company a little bit more? So you're looking at blue ocean strategies to integrate with different businesses. You're talking about now high-end dealerships, which is a great strategy to create a partnership there. You said a discount code. If they mention that dealership, that they'll get a little bit of the pie. And what else are you trying to integrate with, or what's on that roadmap? Are you doing limos? Are you doing party buses? What about high-end shoes? Can you clean shoes and make them kind of brand new? Because there's a lot of Fanatics around that. And what's on that roadmap essentially on your vision board?
Yeah, the only other one that service related that we could throw in instantly is what we've talked about. Back in the office, because we have like a drawing, like a huge drawing board. Like, what else can we do? Because the thing about mobile detailing is you have to pack up and unpack each time when you go to clients. So that's eating up a lot of your time. And the only thing we've seen is pressure washing like driveways and whatnot. And I've seen like a lot of videos on that, and a lot of people who just they start with the regular pressure washer, and I'm like, we already have all that stuff. And then maybe we just add a different chemical and we can start pressure washing driveways. And that way, you could tack on, I don't know how much it costs, but X amount of dollars to the detail they already have, and we're already at their home for the most part. 90% of the time we go to their house. So that's the only other thing I thought about to like tack on extra service. I'd be like, hey, we could also do the driveway. We could the whole thing. That's one thing we've thought about. As far as getting more clients, the limo idea might be a good idea. I haven't thought about that one, but that might be a good one. Because usually they have a party. I mean, someone already cleans the limo though, because maybe it's already, the market's already taken, or maybe they're doing it themselves.
Because, if you think about it like this, I mean, especially you don't want to be working, especially during the summer, it's hot. So right now it's 105 degrees. We messed up the AC, so that's on us. We're going to be sweating throughout the show. But for them, like, you usually have a limo 9 p.m. comes, picks you up, whatever, people start drinking. But what happens when they throw up or react inside of the limo and the night's not over yet? So they're going to call you to come clean up, restore that, wash it, so it doesn't stain or doesn't create further damage. Party can continue, but you guys are now working late at night, and it's not hot outside. That's the big thing. You're not melting like we are right now, and it's just how do you then accommodate? Because what if you're sleeping or you're on call, or how do you then manage that schedule? You know what I mean? So if you have the bookings in advance, maybe you can stay up or manage your schedule in a way where you can have someone available to do that and meet them on the road wherever they're at around town. Do that while they're in the club partying or whatever they come out. I mean, it doesn't happen too often, but to your point of how do you become financially more efficient? If you get even one job a month or 2 months or 3 months, and you can get $500 to $700 out of that, could that just be dumped right into your YouTube ads, your ad platform, and be more efficient that way?
Yeah, no, that is, see something outside of the box that would be like a little bit more obscure. Something like that is good to look at. Because it is like if you could do an upcharge for that, you only have to do a few of them, and now you're making, you do 3, but you basically do like 6 details. It's double the price if you go out at nighttime. So stuff like that is definitely what we're trying to look into now and seeing where we could build off from that.
I'll connect you with one of my guys. He has a limo business, and you guys can get in touch and discuss if that is even an opportunity. So I'll give you a lead.
And give me his car. And
you guys can talk about it. So he'll be coming on in the future and doing his own show. We're going to schedule him in a month or two, and we're going to be talking about his limo business. Yeah. So you'll see that a little bit, and I'll get you guys connected.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So you talked about the financial efficiency and the ads being such a big aspect of taking up the finances that you put in, and then the client just to pay back on the ads. Could you make your own ads or do your own marketing without relying on Google ads, Facebook ads? I mean, You talked a little bit about
Yeah, that
posting on TikTok, posting on YouTube,
that
making
would
your
be
own
the way.
content.
That would be the way because once you diverge from like the big tech giving you ads, you have to kind of do it yourself, and it's definitely harder. It's definitely harder. You'll see like a lot of people because you're not really posting an ad. Like when someone searches something, they look for like that, like an ad. They look for like roofing or the home or cleaning services, and then the ad comes up. It's like, okay, well, I just look for that. But if you're on social media, you don't look for mobile detailing or like you're just scrolling. So it's like you have to captivate the mind first. You have to captivate them so they look into your profile and they look into it because if they think because that's how the ads work. People like, oh, I need the service. Let me click onto this guy, and then boom, they're already going towards you. But on social media, people don't go towards you. They just go towards whatever they want to see, whatever it's giving them a dopamine hit. That's why a lot of people do like the ASMR detailing. But those guys get so big they don't really do details anymore. They have whole productions like this, and they just do that and get views. But if you're trying to market on there, you have to kind of emulate what they're doing and then take away from that and then have your links and your kind of like your bio they have to click into you and then go and see your bio and see what you're selling and see what you're doing. So it's a little bit harder. So the way we do social media is, especially on TikTok, I think on TikTok you have 3 seconds to get a viewer or not. The first 3 seconds is like the main bread and butter, and then you could go anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute to if you're doing like a story time or something, you go 3 minutes. But I think the first 3 seconds is the most important. So my brother he's big on social media. He has millions and millions of views and likes and everything. He does like powerlifting, bodybuilding. He does all that, and so he'll help out a lot too on like what to do and how to work things out. And then I work on more like capitalizing. So like if he makes a viral video, how can we capitalize off that popularity? So that's how you have to market yourself on social media, especially right now. Because right now, I mean, there's tons of people, and there's always different trends. There's always crazy trends. You don't even know what's gonna happen next. Like they did I don't know if you have a TikTok, but they were doing a grimace shake, like the McDonald's grimace shake. They would drink it, and then the next slide would be them like passed out in an alley, and like the grimace shake would be everywhere, and then like millions of views. And I'm like, who even thought of this? But it's hilarious, like because like you see one guy do like what the hell, and then like the next guy and the next guy, and you're like, oh, this is like a thing. This is like this is happening. Like I better go get a grimace shake, throw it all over a car or something. Like I gotta think quick. Like you gotta be on it. And it was just, stuff like that's so crazy because it's social media platforms like that have millions, hundreds of millions of people using it. So it's so adaptive. Like you have to be on point constantly. And that's why people hire social media people now because you have to like consume it, digest it, and then be able to format what you want and then put it out there and try to get swept up in the algorithm. And so right now we do a bunch of testing. So my brother would do tests, and then I'll start like a different channel. I'll just whatever channel I want to start. It'll be gardening or something, and then you could test things on that channel, and then that's more like your personal thing. And when you move over to your business, you could take what you've learned and then do it on your business channel. So that's what we're doing right now, and as in we're still slow right now because we I was telling you earlier before we since I've started like implementing those things, we redid all of our social medias and everything's like wiped, and we're starting over and trying to get that thing that's more instead of more like, hey, do you want to buy this? Hey, look at this you could buy. It's like let's just gather an audience, captivate people, and then if they want to check us out, they'll check us out more. But like not try to push like, hey, check us out. Like look at this, look at this. It's just like here's like a time lapse of us detailing, see the foam cannon, just watch it, just 30 seconds, just for anyone to watch.
Yeah.
Without like a alternative agenda of like, there's no like ad break in the middle, like, hey, if you want your detailing done, just come here. So that's the theory we're trying out now. And we're gonna see if it works, because all these are just theory crafting, like what's gonna work. And if it doesn't, if it sucks for a month, you just have to endure it, and then do something else.
Yeah,
Keep doing
I think a lot of it is consistency, whether you have the views or not. Not necessarily trying to go viral right off the bat, but I do think that is a good way to target your financial efficiency. Is figuring out how you do your own marketing, your own ads, your own audience. You're talking about A/B testing your own audience analysis with different channels and everything to see what works, what doesn't. So you're kind of making this marketing firm to kind of replace the costs that you're getting that you have to put into the ad revenue from the different platforms. So like if money saved is money made, essentially. So
Yes.
that's kind of what your goal is there. So I think you could do those are really great ideas. You could do the whole TikTok, power washing, time lapses, especially if it's a nice car. People will just want to watch a Ferrari being washed,
Yeah,
Lamborghini being washed, that'll be cool. Like, oh, I want to watch that. It's, a couple minutes, time lapse. That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
They'll go for the car, not necessarily for the detail.
Yeah, like you could put the car first, I'm like, oh wow, or like you're getting some niche group like a Porsche, and you'll think of like all the Porsche, you're like, oh, that's a nice car, and then you start seeing it get soaked down and everything. Like, oh, that's cool, and it just captivates them right away.
So one thing that comes to mind with that is whether you have it on YouTube Shorts or IG or whatever. What do you do? What do you think about like product reviews? Because you use a lot of different products, and you have like an Amazon distribution warehouse account where you could link the products, and if they buy it through your link, you get a kickback.
Yeah, that's what we want to do for sure. With a lot of the products that we have in the foam guns. Now, first we want to like use them thoroughly and make sure like, because the products we have right now, we've had a problem with. So I thought about that early on, but I was like, right when I was starting, I was like, well, if I, start using these products and then they're terrible products, and I just told everyone to buy them, like now I look like a jackass, and I'm like, man, let me be the guinea pig first. I'm watching my cars with them. My friends go, hey man, you want a car wash real quick? Like I'll give you. I just come out, and then once all the products were good, then we started using on other customers' products, our cars, and then now we're thinking about doing that exact thing, where we get all the products and we ship it out, or like an Amazon affiliate link. And the only thing I was worrying about that is, or any type of that affiliate link is it better to like maybe some of our warehouse space we fill up with all the products, and then ship it out from ourselves to someone who would be around the area, because it'll be a lot faster that way. I think it'll be more time consuming for us, but faster for our clients. I would say you're getting, say if someone's drop shipping, they're doing something where they're selling, I don't know, the little plushie pillows or something, but they get, they come from China, and then people don't want to buy them from there because it's going to take, 3 weeks to get to their house, and like, by that time, 3 weeks and
3 months
social media thing, or 3 months, 2 months, COVID, you might a year. Is it, people forget about that. But if you're like, hey, I'll get it to you in 3 days, same exact thing, is that better? And that's what I've been thinking about, because you could do, if you get things overseas, you could buy a whole bunch, you get boatloads for like
right
$3.99, and then here you could sell them for 15 plus shipping or something. And then that way, the customer doesn't wait 3 months. They wait 3 days. They get the same exact shirt. The only thing is, your ass is in this 100-degree garage bagging it for 5 hours later. So it's like it's more. You have to endure more. You have to do more. But your customer, instant satisfaction, that instant dopamine hit is what people are looking for.
Yeah.
No one wants to wait 3 months when you got Amazon down the street. Like they're like, why can't we get it right now? Like, why am I waiting 3 months?
Yeah.
So
well, you brought up a slightly different topic is that now you're doing supply chain integration where you now are distributing all your content. You have a e-commerce where they can buy from your website. You'll ship it out to them more quicker if you have it in inventory. But for the affiliate link is they just buy straight from Amazon and you get a cut because they use your link, and Amazon ships them the product. So you never have to get in the business of doing the warehouse management and then the supply. But that is that next step is instead of them buying it directly through Amazon and you getting a small percentage, because you get a bigger cut by being now a distribution hub for those materials, since you're already using it yourself. And then people that want it locally, you can ship it out, overnight it, whatever.
Yeah.
And then now you're competing against Amazon because you can maybe get products to the customers quicker versus if they are out of stock or backlogged
That's
or
what I'm
whatever,
thinking.
then
Or
they're
like,
not gonna be able to
or
get
going,
that.
and they have to go through
Yeah.
them. And they have to, go through that whole process. And that's where I'm at right now, especially with that kind of stuff. Or even if like my brother's doing something and he might have an affiliate, he might have like weightlifting belts or something. And like, what do I recommend him to do? Like an affiliate link to where he gets 5 or 10%, or I'm like, hey, bust your ass, put up the capital, get 50 belts, do your videos, and then people will buy your belts, and you just have to ship them out. You have to figure that out. We got the shop, the car shop. Sam manages that shipping pretty well. I just talk to him all the time, or bring all the belts over there and do it there. Like, oh, like figure it out. But I think that is a better experience for the customer, and then in turn that'll be better for you, because whenever you're making your customers happy, whenever you're doing that, you're getting a greater return. So that's where like I'm at. I don't know for sure. Everything's theory crafting, but I think if you're doing everything in house, it's more appealing to the customer. So we'll see. Because affiliate link is, you see that you're like, click the link in the bio, and you get the person gets a few percentage, which is cool too. It's not a bad idea. It's
Yeah.
also a good idea. It's which one's a better idea.
Yeah. No, I mean we've been talking about customer satisfaction and reaching out to the customer and all that good stuff. How do you manage your customer satisfaction? Do you get complaints? How do you meet the customer's expectations, or do you just kind of tell them what the process is going to look like up front? How do you deal with the whole client aspect of thing and making sure that you meet their expectations?
It's a lot of communication with the client, like being upfront, make sure they understand everything. And it's like really like each client, this is like real interpersonal communication. Like we're talking back and forth, hey, what are you doing? This is how long it takes, what do you got going on? You got kids who got volleyball, okay, then we'll have to come a little bit early, we could take it. And then right when we're about 90% through, maybe 95, I'll call the customer. I'm like, hey, come out here, check out the vehicle, let us know if we missed anything, let us know how you feel about it, let us know if you like it. And we'll go through it, because if it's a really dirty car, we'll get the real meat of the car. But sometimes like behind the seat, like the headrest will have like a smudge on it, which we won't notice because we're like, the car's like trash. So we're like working with all this, and then like eventually like you'll pick around the corner and you'll see something that you missed. And they'll come out, they'll talk to us, they'll see if they like it or not. And usually it's all it's always, for the most part, always good reviews. And if not, then I'm like, oh, don't worry, we're going over the car, we're not finished yet. I just wanted to show you our process and what we're doing. And we go over it one more time, call them out for the final inspection. And once they give us the green light, we're like, all right, thank you, collect payment, and then we leave. And
Awesome. So you collect payment at the end?
Yeah, at the very end. We don't do anything. We don't make anyone pay up front or before the service or anything like that. Only some people do, like if we have like maintenance clients, they'll just pay us right away and then we'll come out. But they've already seen us like multiple
Work
times.
and everything, yeah.
Yeah, but if it's someone new, especially someone that, a lot of people don't know what detailing is, like what's the difference, or how, like the process. So we're like, hey, we're gonna do everything, and then at the very end, we're gonna give you the inspection, walk around the car with you, and if you like it, then you pay us right then and there. Like you don't have to worry about like putting $300, $400, $500 up front, and then not liking the product at the end. And if they don't like it, we had one person didn't like it, just because what they ordered wasn't what they thought they were going to get, and they're like, oh, I thought like they just thought there was a lot more. I was like, oh, well, you actually just got the basic package, and like we're booked for again, so like we can't actually do what you want right now, for what you what you paid for. That only takes like an hour and a half, so that's the time slot we booked you for, and we have to go to our next client who has a 3 to 4 hour time slot. Like we have to be there on time, or we're gonna be cooking in the heat. It's gonna get too much. And then for them, we just took like a price off. We just took a hit, like a price hit, and because they didn't really know what they're getting into, and maybe that was our bad for not communicating that right, or maybe like our website could add more detail into it. Something could happen better. So we're just like, okay, well, we'll take a percentage off, and sorry about that. And then once we take the money off, they're like, okay, it's not bad, saved a buck, got a decent wash, and then they feel better, and we're like, all right, yeah, sorry about that, and then we just head out to our next job, roll with the punches, and because I think that like losing a little bit of money is better than losing a little bit of reputation. Like you lose a lot of money versus a little bit of your rep, and it'll be worth it. Like if we lose, $100 on a job, but the customer doesn't have anything bad to say about us afterwards, then that's better than, making $100, but the customer, leaves you a 3-star review or something, or, yelps
Yeah.
about you, does some social media posts about you. So I'd rather lose money than reputation.
Yeah, because that could be your next lead and your follow-up lead,
Yep.
and that could have
Mhm.
downstream impacts to returning customers and all that good stuff. So I do like how you make the customer whole in those unexpected situations, and you do what you can, whether it's your bottom line. If you have time, you maybe
Yeah.
give them the better package, or in this case, you're bucked, so you discount the price. But what are the different types of watches? Because you said this was like maybe a communication mismatch. So tell me, what is the basic watch? What is a premium watch? What do you guys do differently in that
Yeah.
process?
So and that was the number 4 time we did a lot of maybe like more like maintenance details for like a regular car. So we'd wash it, but we can't focus on the tires too much, or you don't polish up the tires and the wheels. And then it comes with like a vacuum and a wipe down and everything, but it doesn't come with the steam cleaner and the extractor and the extra bits. And that was like the difference between our basic packages and then our detailing packages. But we've actually taken those out now to stop that kind of like communication difference. And we've taken those out completely and just went straight for full details. Like if you get us, like you're gonna get a full detail on the exterior or the interior or both. That's all you're getting now. Like there's no like small washes here, small washes there, because people might they might not understand again. They might not know the difference. They might not see why it was so fast, or why there's still X, Y, and Z. And it's like, well, this package is only supposed to take an hour, and we can't really manage all that. And our trucks aren't even loaded up because the detailers will load up their vehicles based on the jobs that they have. So if their jobs didn't imply that they would need to do X, Y, and Z, they wouldn't have loaded up the gear, because they don't need it. But going out and then with a bunch of separate packages, eventually we just start loading up everything, and then that became a problem too. So then we just stopped doing the basics. All the little things, we just stopped doing that. We just do complete details now. And since we've done that, it's worked out a lot better. Like there's
Wow.
little like that communication error happened, months ago. Now, no communication errors. It's like the website has everything we do. And a lot of our ads are like when I talk to people, it's calls. And I work sales for the most part, and we do have other people who answer phone calls, but we're very communicative of like everything we do. Like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. This is like we all know what we do, and whenever we get a customer, we very clearly describe what we do, because that happened a lot in the beginning. They're like, hey, that doesn't make sense. I thought I was getting this. I thought that was happening. They're like, you guys are taking 3 hours. It's like, yeah, it's detail. It takes a while, man. It's like, yeah, my partner actually, he got that a lot. He's like, why you're still here, huh? He's like, yeah, man, I'm just trying to clean the car, man. It's so much to do. So they didn't understand how fast it was, the process. So I always give everyone a time frame, and we're mobile. So if we're doing another job, and so if we have a job at 9 and we have another job at 1, I'll tell them it could be between 1 and 2, because who knows how long it's going to take. Maybe the customer comes out and they have something to
Side conversation.
Yeah, they have side, like you're making small talk with them. They want to talk to you. They want to ask you questions. A lot of them ask questions about like, oh, okay, well, where should I keep this now? Is this good? What's the bead maker? Is it okay in the rain? When should I call you after it rains? Stuff like that. So we have to communicate with them. So our next appointment, we give like an hour lead time. So it's like we could be there at 1. If everything goes smooth, we'll be there at 1. If we got chatty Kathy, we'll be there at 1:30. If we messed up, we'll be there at 2. Like there's that hour gap. And then if we miss that hour gap, then we offer 10% off. Because it's always about customer satisfaction. So like, here's your hour, because especially because we're going to take 2 to 3 hours. So if we miss it by if we start adding time onto that, now it's 3 hours plus 30 minutes plus 40 minutes, and it just keeps adding on. So we if we're ever late by like a minute, we just said hey, sorry we're late. We're taking 10% off the detail. we're here. Can we get started?
Mhm.
And that's how we work that out. That my main thing is customer satisfaction is the top priority of the business right now. I think that's what will. I think that's what the bigger companies focus on, and that's what elevates them. So if they're doing something right, then I should be doing the same thing. So that's what. And I'm smaller though, so it takes more of a hit. 10%. I'm like, oh damn it, man, you can't be late. But it's the price you have to pay. You have to endure. So it is what it is.
No, that's awesome. I do like how you're consolidating your services into a one package that does it all.
Yeah.
That way you don't have all these micro services that you offer, and then people start picking and choosing, and too many options is bad. So less is more in this case. Where
Yes.
you have one
Good
option.
book.
Yeah. Your whole
There's a book on the theory of I think it's called choice theory. When someone has too many choices, they have no choices at all because they can't make a decision. So that's what we were running into at the detailing, and that's why we consolidate everything into one detail. Because I've seen detail packages where you open up the thing and there's like 6 boxes pop up of different detailing packages and different ways, and just a whole bunch of different things, and none of them have the price, none of them have bundles. No, it's just a whole bunch of options, and then you just instantly click away. It's like it's just there's too much. It's like when people are hungry and they're like, "Man, what you eat?" And you ask your wife, like, "Oh, I don't know. What do you want?" It's like, "Well, I don't know. I'm just hungry. What do you want?" It's like, "I don't know. Hamburgers." Like, where? What hamburgers? We're going to In-N-Out, Habit. We're going to McDonald's. Like, what hamburgers are we getting? There's just too much to choose from, and it overwhelms people. Especially, food we eat every day. So we like, I don't want hamburgers. Give me some tacos, pizza, whatever. But car detailing, you're like, "What do you want?" I don't even know what the hell a car detail is. Like, I don't know what I want. Like, what is a car detail? Like, you're supposed to tell the customer what you're doing. So when they come to us, we have a very laid out, and we have the starting prices for everything too, right on the website. Some people are afraid to do that, I guess, because like, when people look for car detailing or car cleaning, you could go down to Shell gas station for like $15 and then get a little rainbow wash. So when you tell them like, oh, we start at $199, we start at $299, they're like, what the hell is going on here?
Why is it so expensive?
Yeah, some people are afraid of that conversation, but when they call us, I'm like, oh yeah, well, we don't actually do any basic wash. We only do full detailing, which comes with full wash, wax. We do the tires, wheels, we steam clean, hand wash the entire inside, do the glasses, and then we tell them it's like 2-3 hour process, and that's why the markup is so high, and we're fully mobile, so we come out to you on your time, and that's why we have these prices. But some people are afraid to have that conversation, I think. So that's why they kind of like hide their prices, or they don't know. And I just go on the website. It says like small cars starting at $150, medium cars $250, or whatever the prices are for whatever your package you're getting. It'll always be there, and it's just like right underneath it has everything we do. And there's 2 packages. You either get them separate or you get them together. If you get them together, you just add the prices. It's like
double the price, yeah.
Yeah, so it's very
straightforward.
It's very straightforward. It's like almost like a
make it simple.
Yeah, it's like a brochure. Like what's in here? Boom, that's in there. That's it. There's no fancy things. There's nothing too crazy. Straight up, straightforward. And I think that's what gives a good customer experience, because you don't want to kind of like, you might make a buck by like hiding the price, and then it's like, oh well, you didn't know we had dog hair, so we had to charge you $50 extra for dog hair. As soon as we get that there's dog hair, like, hey, this is upcharge. We're either going to do it or not going to do it. What do you want? So there's no like, you don't want to be scared in those kind of situations. It's going to be tough because you don't want to like, because now you have to add on a service, and maybe they didn't know about that, or now they're not getting their dog hair removed, and it's like it's tough to talk about. But if you get that upfront and done in the beginning, then the job for your detail is going to be a lot smoother. So that being upfront is probably the best you could do in this business.
Yeah, communication is key, and that's going to lead to the right expectations and customer satisfaction. So you mentioned something earlier about getting permits from different cities, and that was like a lot of work. But the question I have then is, what were those challenges or surprises as you started growing the business? And you're like, oh, I didn't know how to do that. I don't know. That was different. So what was that? What were all the things that you're like, you had to overcome, or you were surprised about when you got this going?
Well, there's a lot of things in the back end that you don't really know about or plan for. So like first it's like, oh, let's get a business license. Like, okay, that's cool. That should be easy. And you like call and file in and like how do I get it? You kind of like looking up where do I need my business license? And the best thing you could do is just go straight up to the business administration building in like downtown or wherever your business building's at, and just go talk to someone. Just go there and see what forms you need because they'll have the forms as if you look it up online, you could how they get printed out, fill it out, and bring it to them, or they'll just tell you everything you need, and then you just file it and print it out. The one main thing that popped up here was since we go to people's houses and we have like a garage insurance and everything to drive their vehicles, we had to get a special business license from the sheriff's department. So we had to go get I think we even got fingerprinted and everything. So yeah, randomly like, oh, we gotta go police station. Like I'm like, what the hell? I guess so. So I went into like we just went into the sheriff's department and they're like, hey, we're here to get fingerprinted, I guess. Like we need a business license. Like, all right, wait right there. And there's people like turning themselves in for like armed robbery and stuff, like right in the police station while we're there. And like, yeah, I have a warrant for the last 2 years. I got to go in. I'm like, man, I'm just trying to get fingerprinted. I don't know what's going on here. And they just took us out in the back. And then it was like, oh, the first one was like $50. And then if you have a business partner, it went up to like $150. I was like, how did that even happen? Like, why is his fingers bigger than mine? Or like, why is it so much more? And this like random stuff like that would happen. And then like you'd have to renew like certain licensing would cost some money. And then like randomly they'd be like, oh, well, there's an $8 processing charge. I just paid $120. Like here's some extra money. Like this random fees just kept coming up. I'm like, damn, dude, like California dream, I guess. Like, yeah, I was like, man, it's like random bills would just pop up for licensing, and it was the only thing that was like a bit different because you see it. It's like if you see one of these kind of like self-service jobs, people doing gardening or roofing's a big one right now, or cleaning gutters. Those are big ones right now, and you just think like you see the video, like, oh, you just started up, but no, it takes like a month to get all this stuff together, to be like above board, and then you have to call insurance companies to get basic umbrella coverage and stuff like that for the actual business aspect of it. And you have to get all the licensing. And that actually took a little bit of getting used to because my partner at the time, he was in Florida and he kind of like tampered with this stuff too. And in Florida, I mean, you pretty much just send a picture of an alligator and you're good. And like, I live here. I know what I'm doing. You don't have to do very much. But in California, I guess you had to really get down and dirty with all the licensing and the fees and the paying and everything. But once we had that done, renewal was super easy. Once you initially get in there, and, you endure the first part, then like I had to renew it for this year, and I had to change the name and I had to do some extra stuff. I was like, oh, here we go again. And they're like, what do you want the name to be? I'm like, boom, Detailing Fanatics. All right, $20. I was like, what? Boom, like you're good. I was like, what about social business license? It's like, yeah, no, everything's good. Get out of here. I was like, damn, this was so much easier. Like, that's how I thought it was going to be at first. Like, you just, give them a little bit of change and you sign something. But at first, it was like way more paperwork, filing. This time it was like a lot easier. So once you get past that first hurdle, it gets a lot better. So this year was a breeze. Thank God. We did not need any more struggles this year.
So it sounds like the paperwork is the biggest surprise for the mobile detailing.
Yeah, definitely was a big because it was just like it was just a lot to do, and then we're getting our people certified too from a third party that's like a regular detailer. So
Yeah, hold on. Let me ask about that. How did you come up with that second certification process? I think that's a really great way to say, hey, we're double certified. But how'd you come across that idea?
Yeah, so the first partner I started with, he went to a detailing class over in Florida, and he kind of got certified. I was like, oh, that's kind of smart. But he was doing it just to learn because he just wanted to like learn how. And then when we got people, we would just teach them. But after he left, I was like, maybe I should look for like some certification process. So I would go out with people and we'd do our cars. And I'm like, you know what? Let me like look around here. And we went to P&S, I think it's called. It's right off Sunrise, a little bit past Recycle Road. And we went to them and we started getting products from them first. And they had really good products. All the stuff that we used from them like worked perfectly, and it's no really harsh chemicals, especially when you're working on like, pretty high end cars. You don't want harsh chemicals or acids. So they were really good for that. And then they had a back warehouse where they would do polishing on cars and like do full detailed demos. And then we found out that they do classes, and it's like a full. Some of them I think are 2 days or like full day classes, and then they go over everything. It's a full 8-hour instruction of hands on. They only pick like 5 or 6 people, and they do that like once a week or once a month. And once I found out about that, I talked to the owner, and I was like, I just called, inquired about everything, and he was really knowledgeable. Their products are really good, so I was like, okay, this looks like a good bet. And I sent my new main detailer. I sent him there first, and he was like, yeah, this place is good. Like it's solid. He picked up some tricks, and since then we just been sending people there.
So you kind of just stumbled upon it. And you were like, this is a great idea. We certified him as a company, being Detailing Fanatics. You guys teach him, get him trained, certify him, and then get him additionally certified by the second expert body. And then they learn the extra tricks, the tips, all that stuff. And
it's whatever because we do it like we'll have like a base car, and then we'll have like someone who wants to is looking into it. We'll have them come out and be like, hey, this is what we do. This is our process. And if they're down with it, then we go out onto a job site, and then they help out with the job site, and they keep doing that. And if they're like, okay, this is something that I could pursue a little bit more, and then once you get certified, the pay goes up too. So I'm like, all right, well, let's go to the class. You guys get certified, and now with the pay going up, it's like, well, you might be working. Right now you're working with a partner, but you might have to do a job solo. You might have to do maintenance jobs to start off. So maintenance jobs are jobs that we've already done, so they're kind of easier. Like our main detailers went out and cleaned it all. We did the heavy lifting, and then now we just maintain that so the paint maintains its quality. So we'll send the people who just got certified out. We'll send your first job will just be a like a small detail job or a recurring client, and that's how we've been doing it, and it's working out pretty good because when your employees get comfortable, they get that they kind of build that confidence.
Yeah.
They build that confidence more and more. First, it's like they come in like, what the hell's going on? It's hot. Why am I here right now? And they do it, and they get paid. Then they do their own jobs, and then they have their buddy, they have the lead, and then the assistant, and then they go out and they get comfortable. And boom, once they're certified, they feel like now they're confident. They went from comfortable to confident, and now they're working, by themselves, and they're going off on their own. And that's what we were really hoping for with the second certification. And they give out a whole like a little plaque and everything that's certified by them. So it's pretty cool.
No, that's good. It's kind of like, sounds like you kind of stumbled upon it just by being in the industry, thought it was a good idea, or like, all right, let's go do it. And to your point, it helps with the training. I mean, you have a really good training program. You have hands-on shadowing, over the shoulder type of, hey, do this, do that, look at that, so they get comfortable, they get confidence, are able to do it on their own, and then become a lead eventually on as they kind of have that experience and put in the time. So I think we covered a lot about how we got started, your marketing, your clients, how you're trying to scale. Is there any topic that we haven't talked about that you want to touch base on for Detailing Fanatics? Or did we cover just about everything?
We covered just about everything about detailing and what it is.
Okay, then tell me, what are your social media handles? Where can people find you? Your website?
Yeah, so right now the website is detailingfanatics.com. We're still working on the socials are also Detailing Fanatics, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We're just making our new TikTok, so hopefully it'll be Detailing Fanatics if that's not gone yet. But we'll see. And then that's all we got. Hopefully we blown up more because the social media we just started just because like we were talking about that new we want to do that new process, and it's a little bit more of a theory craft, so we're gonna put a lot more time and resource into that, and then hopefully that pays off in the long run.
Absolutely.
So, we're just getting started with all that good stuff.
Awesome. Well, I'll put the links in the description below. I'll put references to all your handles, to your link tree, and all that good stuff. So thank you so much for joining us today. This episode was on Detail Fanatics with Zach. I hope you guys found some great takeaways about the industry. I hope it was informational nonetheless. Well, Thanks for cooking with me today, Zach.
Yeah, we were cooking.
105 degrees, sweat coming down.
Literally.
Well, with that,
It was good.
have a good rest of your day, everybody. Take care. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.